Assalamu alaikum dear students. In this lecture we are going to study in detail about the argumentative and descriptive forms of writing. Previously I have discussed with you about different forms of writing, but here now in this lecture we are going to discuss in detail about the specific focus of our topic is on specifically the argumentative and descriptive forms of writing. The lecture outline is we are going to study about the argumentative form of writing, and then we are going to study about the descriptive form of writing. So let's begin towards the lecture. Argumentative writing. So we have basically the three terms related to argumentative. That is, the first one is argue, that's the verb. Then argumentative, that is an adjective, and then argument, that is a noun. So what is argue? Argue means to persuade someone to do or not do something, to give the reasons for your opinion, ideas and beliefs. So in argumentative writing, basically that means that you either persuade someone to do something or to not to do something, but how? By giving the reasons and your opinions, your ideas. Argumentative means someone who is argumentative often argues or likes arguing. Like when you are writing an argumentative piece of writing, so you are actually the one who is arguing, like who is giving the reasons to do something or to not to do something. And what is the argument? An argument is a set of reasons which show that something is true or untrue. So you in argumentative, you are basically arguing. So what is arguing? To persuade someone to do or not to do something. And then what is argumentative? Act of arguing. And what you do in arguing? That is, you give arguments. What is the arguments? That is a set of reasons which show that something is true, which show that okay, something to do or something not to do. An argumentative essay it's argumentative means it's not just for the essay, or it may be either a paragraph, it may be either anything else. What the purpose is, how to write the argumentative piece of writing. The argumentative essay or a paragraph tries to change the reader's mind by convincing the reader to agree with the writer's point of view. It attempts to be highly persuasive and logical. So your arguments must be logical so that your audience get impressed and agree by what you said, what you arguments you gave against any point or any idea. Argumentative essays or any paragraph requires us to look at the following: advantages and disadvantages, expressing opinions or providing solutions to problems, expressing arguments for or against a topic, compare or contrast something or somebody. So here in argumentative, we can persuade the people, we can convince the people either by giving the advantages of something or by either giving the disadvantages of something, that okay, this is the disadvantage of these things, so you should not do this, or okay, this is the advantage of this thing, so you should do. Or you can also compare and contrast something. Here compare and contrast is also another form of writing, but here in argumentative essay or argumentative piece of writing, you can also give your arguments by providing the compare and contrast of something. Like if you have two things and you have to convince the readers about one thing, that you can compare and contrast both the things and persuade by your audience that okay, to do this thing and not to do this thing. Before you start your argumentative essay, first you need to understand the question. So you need to understand the question, that what do you have to do, what issues do you need to cover, what do you know about this issue, make a list of points, decide if you are arguing for or against the statement. So what you have to do, first you have to understand what the topic is about and what knowledge do you have about this topic, and either you are writing about in favor of that topic, or either you are writing about against of that topic. So you have to decide these things before you are getting into the argumentative piece of writing. Next, you should have a draft of your essay. It would guide you as you begin to write. Your writing should be more factual rather than emotional. So the argumentative piece of writing is not that emotional piece of writing. You do not have to appeal the emotions of the audience, rather you have to give them logical statements that you have to persuade them, giving logical reasons, and people get persuaded by your writing that okay, this are the reasons, and you have given it logically. Organization of an argumentative essay or a paragraph. First is the introduction. The first paragraph is the introductory paragraph. It presents the problem and gives the background information necessary for the argument and the thesis statement. So thesis statement, what is the thesis statement? I have told you before, that is the topic sentence, that what you have to introduce, that what you are going to write in your essay in a paragraph further. So thesis statement is a short statement, usually one sentence, that summarizes the main point or claim of an essay or a research paper or a paragraph or anything else. So let's take the example of the introduction, at how you begin your introduction. The topic is all students in public schools should wear uniforms. Do you agree? So you have to write the argumentative piece of writing on this topic. The introduction should be like, school uniforms are the compulsory garments worn by students. They can be in different styles and colors. Over the years, wearing school uniforms have been the rule in many schools. Some people are opposed to the use of school uniforms. However, uniforms play an important role in the education system. The use of uniforms should continue because it saves money, it gives one a sense of belonging, and it encourages equality among students. So this is the way how you are going to introduce your topic. So these are some topics, and then in the middle, that is the bad thesis, means the bad introduction, the bad thesis statements. You are not supposed to write those types of statements. And then against this, in the third column, there is a good thesis, means a good introductory line or the thesis statement. The topic is the use of illegal drugs causes more harm than good in society. So support topic. You have to support this topic. So the bad is drug use is detrimental to society, or a good piece of writing is illegal drug use is detrimental because it causes gang violence, disrupts family life, and is linked to health problems. Then global warming is only the natural cycles of the earth and not a threat. So you have to refute the topic. You have to write you should not have to write in a way that global warming is a serious issue. Instead, you may start like global warming is a highly serious issue because it is a threat to the environment, animals, and people. Then the topic is physical education should be compulsory in all schools. You have to support the topic. So you are not supposed to write like physical education is important for all schools. Either you should choose the words like physical education should be compulsory because it introduces students to different types of sports and teaches them about living healthy and happy. Then comes the body of the essay or a paragraph. The body paragraphs contain the reasons or points of your argument. Each paragraph talks about one reason. The reason is stated in the topic sentence and is supported by supporting details or materials. These supporting materials can either be examples, statistics, personal experiences, or quotations. So when you are writing an essay, there are many paragraphs, so you have to, in the body paragraphs, there may be 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. So each paragraph contains one reason. There is not like you have written 3 or 4 arguments in the one single para. One para contains one reason, and there should be a proper start of that paragraph, and you have to give the supporting details, either by giving examples, by giving the personal experiences, by comparing and comparison and contrast, and by giving the advantages or disadvantages, or by giving the statistics, like statistical information, or by giving the any quotation. So this is up to you, that how you are going to take your point according to your knowledge. So let's take the example that how you are going, like first we have introduced, and then we are going to support that paragraph. School uniforms would help make all the students feel equal. People's standards of living differ greatly, and some people are well off while others are not. People sometimes forget that school is a place to get education, not to promote a fashion show. Implementing mandatory school uniforms would make all the students look the same regardless of their financial status. So the topic sentence is, the school uniforms would help make all the students feel equal. So the whole paragraph is about the equality of the students in terms of their dress, in terms of their financial status. So if you have to write, when you are going to write the supporting the paragraph, that the argument paragraphs, that one first line is about the reason, and then in the whole paragraph you have to explain that reason. You are not supposed to deviate from that reason, or you are not supposed to add another reason in a single paragraph. So implementing mandatory school uniforms would make all the students look the same regardless of their financial status. School uniforms would promote pride and help to raise the self-esteem of students who cannot afford to wear stylish clothing. Okay, so this is the example. Now conclusion, how you are going to conclude. The conclusion restates the main claim, that is the thesis, that is your topic sentence. It presents 2 or 3 general statements which summarize the arguments you have made in the body of your essay. Do not write any new points in your introduction. So sample conclusion is, in conclusion, there are many benefits to implementing mandatory school uniforms for students. The use of uniforms should not be stopped, because students learn better and act more responsibly by abiding to dress codes. Public schools should require uniforms in order to benefit both the students and society as a whole. So this is the way, this is the just a general example that how you are going to start at the argumentative piece of writing, how you are going to argument in your body, and how you are going to conclude your topic. Then there are some points. Avoid being too personal or specific. Even though you're expressing your opinion, it is crucial to stay objective and not get emotional. So you are not supposed to get emotional in argumentative piece of writing. Avoid expressions like I think, I feel. Instead, rephrase and use, that is, for example, it is my opinion that, I believe that, I could be argued that, it could be argued that, one could say that. So instead of saying, instead of writing I think, I feel, you may use these type of phrases. Avoid using the pronoun you when referring to people in general. One should, like, you are not supposed to say you should sleep 8 hours per night. Instead, you write one should sleep 8 hours per night. Most people should sleep 8 hours per night. So avoid using these being personal and specific. Linking words. So you are supposed to add the linking words, because linking words help a lot to create coherence and connections within the text. So we have studied previously about the cohesive devices. So in that lecture we have studied about linking words as well. So linking words are used to create coherence and connections within the text, linking one idea or argument to another. When you are giving the cause or reasons, so you can write like due to, on account of, because, since. When you are contrasting, you may write although, still, yet, despite, in spite of, nevertheless, however. When addition, furthermore, moreover, in addition, besides. So these are just the examples. You may get more from the internet as well. Like you are giving example, you can say, for instance, such as, namely, when you are going to add a sequence, next, last, finally, first, secondly, lastly. Also when you are making a comparison, like likewise, equally, similarly. When you are talking about any result, so you may write like therefore, as a result, consequently. So these are some the linking words. In useful language, you have to use a very useful language, very careful language in your argumentative piece of writing. Like when you are expressing your opinion, when you are expressing your personal opinions, you either write like, in my opinion, I am of the opinion that, I am convinced that, I am strongly opposed to, it seems to me that, there is no doubt that. And then when you are listing arguments, you can either write firstly, secondly, lastly, furthermore, moreover, in conclusion, and then dismissing counter arguments. Like I totally disagree with that. It is questionable whether it would dispute the claim that. Okay. So you're supposed to use that type of language, either writing like much informal way and much like in emotional way. So these are some topics that are for your practice. You can write them at your home. Like first topic is students are given too much homework. So you can either write in support of this, or either you may disagree to that point. Laptops should be banned from the classrooms. So either you may agree or disagree with that point. It is your choice. It's just for your practice. Country life is better than city life. So you can either write in agreement or disagreement for your practice. Now let's begin towards the descriptive writing. So we have studied in detail about the argumentative writing. Now what is the descriptive piece of writing? Descriptive writing creates a picture of a person, place, thing, or event. Description tells what something looks, sounds, smells, tastes, or feels like. Descriptive writing paints a picture for the reader. Let the reader share your experience through your words. Show it, don't tell it. Use imagery that appeal to the five senses: touch, taste, smell, sound, sight. Imagery, the use of vivid description to create pictures or images in the reader's mind. Descriptive writing provides an illustration of place, people, event, situations, thoughts, and feelings. Description presents sensory information that makes writing come alive. It expresses an experience that the reader can actively participate in by using imagination. Descriptive details aid in developing the overall dominant impression. So in descriptive writing, you have to write in such a way that the readers get the image of that thing, image of that story, either the place, either the event, either they can either sense, they can either feel that, okay, that place, that person looks like that. You have to give the sensory details, like how the things, either it's a soft, it's hard, how does it smell, bad, good, and how does it taste, how does it sound. Good descriptive writing includes many vivid sensory details that paint a picture and appeals to all of the reader's senses of sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste when appropriate. Descriptive writing may also paint pictures of the feelings of the person, place, or thing that invokes the writer. Then figurative language. Good descriptive writing often makes use of figurative language to help paint the picture and the reader's mind, there are many ways to use figurative language, and it is a talent that should be practiced until perfected. A simile. So simile means a simile is that language that is basically used in the literary language when you compare two unlike things. Like you say that brave, my son is as brave as a lion. So you are comparing two unlike things. So this is called a simile. Uses like or as compared to unlike things. Like for example, you have to give you can give the description like her smile was like sunshine. A metaphor compares two unlike things without using like or as. Her smile was a light that lit up the room. A simile uses the comparison, whereas a metaphor compares two unlike things without using like or as. Her smile was a light. Here in the first one we use that her smile was like. Here in the second one we said her smile was a light that lit up the room. Then personification suggests comparison between a non-living thing and a person by giving the non-living thing human traits. A dominant impression. When you plan a descriptive essay, you're focused on selecting details that help your reader see what you see, feel, what you feel and experience, what you experience. Your goal is to create a single dominant impression, a central theme. So there is a central theme in your essay that you have to write all around on that how it tastes, how it smells, how it looks. You have for one complete focus, one complete point that you are supposed to write on that point basically. Precise language. Good descriptive language writing uses precise language. And careful organization. You have to organize your piece of writing in a very careful way. Like you have to use the spatial order, like uses location, like either it's bottom, in front of, back. Order of importance, put the most important details at the beginning or at the end. And chronological order arranges detail in time order. Like some descriptive details to consider when describing an object are colors, shapes, sizes, and texture. When describing a person, you may write about the physical appearance, facial expressions, attire, and gestures, body movements of that person. And then we have the example, like if you are writing about someone who is excited about going to a party, how would you describe this? So we have two ways to describe. The first A is she was excited when her parents gave her permission to go to the party. And then B is her eyes widened with surprise and her lips parted as she screamed with delight when her parents said yes. So which one is clearer? The descriptions in the first example tells you what is happening, but it does not create pictures in your mind. The descriptions in the second example create images in the reader's mind and allow them to experience it fully. So this is how you are supposed to write the descriptive piece of writing. And so this is all about the argumentative and descriptive writing, and if these are some references, you can take guide from them as well. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.